Good morning, guys. Welcome in. How is everybody doing? What is going on? Good morning, good morning. Happy Thursday. It's a little bit gloomy in my office today. Maybe I'll turn on some more lights here. Should I do that? Let me see. Now it's too bright. Now it's too bright. No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna stay gloomy. That's fine. We'll stay gloomy. Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. How's everybody doing? Did you guys have a nice Wednesday? I had a nice Wednesday. It was nice to have a good trading session because it was Tuesday session was a bit on the you guys know, right? I had the right idea on Tuesday. Just took me a few tries. AMD was nice. SPY took like 3 times and the third time worked, but it was a battle on Tuesday. Wednesday session was phenomenal. It was a breath of fresh air, and I'm sure for you guys it was probably the same thing, right? Again, it was very simple. It was a very simple session on our Wednesday session, and it just felt nice, right? We basically popped over supply and created a beautiful trap short, right? So if you were short at 670, that was great. But the ultimate short, in my opinion, was when we failed back below 668, right? This was the ultimate short yesterday session, was this failure point right here in the market. Right here, this candle right here was the short everything candle, okay? And that was the big downside move. Now, Big Head Brett is in the, yep, I need to fix that. We'll fix it in a second. But do not worry. We have, first, I want to make an announcement. Actually, you know what? Let's do our econ data earnings reports. Then we'll do our announcement. So let's do this first. I want to make my face smaller. And how's that? Good? It should be good now, right? I think we are reasonably sized in terms of our camera here. We should be good. All right, so today's session, we are going to talk a lot about what's going on here on the earnings docket. Because as you guys know, the earnings season is spicing up. We have some big earnings reporting this morning. TSM is a big one and is heating up the overall chip sector, okay? Where is TSM? TSM Thursday morning, you're seeing a little bit of frothy action there. You have Key Bank. Does anybody bank with Key Bank? Because I used to when I was in college and they suck. I don't know if they still suck, but they used to suck when I was with them. Charles Schwab also reporting earnings today. And in the after hours today, we have Interactive Brokers. We have State Street tomorrow morning, Amex tomorrow morning. And then next week is going to be a very fun week because it is tech earnings. So be ready for that. Be ready for tech earnings. It's going to be a fun time. So anyway, let's continue. We have a lot to go over this morning, so I want to move as fast as possible. Econ data today's session. It is wonky. It is crazy. What the hell is going on, right? We were supposed to get jobless claims. We're supposed to get PPI file demand. We're supposed to get retail sales. Where is it? We're not getting it, right? Retail sales, jobless claims, PPI delayed because of the government closure. It is crazy, right? So again, nothing is going on here in terms of our data this morning. So lack of volatility is because of this. Now, we have some other things happening today. We have Fed speakers all day. This means be careful, right? Because yesterday there were Fed speakers all day as well, but it was nice to have the Fed speakers not during the prime time. The prime time being between 9:30 and 11 a.m. Now you did have Moran at 9:30, but he stopped around 9:45. Now today's session, you have Waller, Barr, Moran, then Bauman at 10 o'clock. So be aware of that going into our day today. We have Fed speakers all day today's session. Now you also have your housing market index, 10 o'clock data. This is the first, this is like the biggest 10 o'clock data we've had in some time. We haven't really had 10 o'clock data all week, so be careful of this. I think we'll see some volatility come 10 o'clock. Obviously, right, you could trade it, you could trade it, do it, but just be aware of some extra volatility during that 10 o'clock hourly candle, okay? Right. So what I want to do is I want to talk about the S&P today. I want to dive into this and have a really fun time on SPY. Before I do this, though, it is 8:38 in the morning. We have 700 people here this morning. I'm going to make an announcement here. But before I do that, I'm opening up the calendar. The calendar, just to confirm this. So the 31st of October. Wait. What day is Halloween? What day is Halloween? 31st of October, right? Halloween is the 31st. Yes, it is the 31st. Okay, I should know that. That is Friday session. That is Friday the 31st. We are doing a giveaway. Friday the 31st. We will be giving away to 10 people $75. So a $750 giveaway for October. December is going to be bigger. But October, $75 for 10 people. I'm not talking about the futures accounts. People know that people do little giveaways. They give away little futures accounts. We're not doing that. We're just giving away cash. You can do what you want with it. You can buy Intel stock. You can buy Nvidia. You can buy whatever the hell you want, right? But it's that's the giveaway, okay? I will be adding something to it later, but I can't say it yet. I'll do it probably a few days before if I can. But as of right now, that is what we're anticipating for our giveaway. That is at least the minimum giveaway for October 31st. It's going to be a fun Halloween session, so be there. Now, what are the requirements? There are no requirements. Just be there on October 31st. That's what it is. Be there on October 31st. Just be there. Show up. Say something in the chat. You can say whatever. You could say Big Head Brett. You can say whatever you want. As long as you say something, then you are in the giveaway. Okay? That's what it is. You guys have been waiting for that for I know we gave away like, what was it? $600, $700 in for 3 months in a row. We didn't do anything for September. So this is the October giveaway, right? So I'll see you guys all there October 31st. Be there or be square. I know you guys are going to be there anyway. So this is just another thing to give back to you guys, right? Let's discuss the charts. That's why you guys are all here. Let's discuss all of our charts. Okay. On the SPY chart yesterday, what happened? What was going on yesterday on yesterday's session? Okay. So yesterday we said this. We said, guys, we are opening up in supply, right? This was our mindset yesterday was we are opening up in supply. This was our supply zone, our major supply zone yesterday. We had 668 as supply, at 570, and then 673, right? Or sorry, 668, 670, and 673. Now, in my opinion, the best possible short yesterday's session, and we were discussing this in the pre-market, was going to be if we got a little bit of a pop above and a failure back below for the downside move. This was your ultimate short, okay? And if you look at what happened yesterday and you kind of see what the intraday price action was, you did actually see an initial move higher in the market, right? The market actually moved up higher. It moved into 670 and change. I got some shorts here on SPY at 670, but this was your B tier trade, okay? Because the market was just in supply. And then once we failed back below 668, me, Mike, and Rav were all sitting there and we're like, holy shit. This is the trap buyer scenario, and this is where it turned in from a B trade, maybe B plus trade, to an A trade, right? And so this was when the market really became frothy. And if you notice something, if you want confirmation of why this is the case, look at the volume yesterday's session. I want you to look specifically, where does the volume begin to pick up? And what does volume mean? Volume means transactions, right? Volume means volatility, right? So if we see low volume throughout the open, right? 10 o'clock, 10:15, 10:20, low volume, low volume, low volume. Not much exchange of hands are going on here. And then all of a sudden, we fail back below 668 here. And then look what happens to the volume here on the session. This is the definition of frothy, right? Frothy means big, exciting moves, right? This is the definition of frothy. Volume almost doubles on the session. It doubles on the session. And we begin selling off in a way that we haven't seen all morning, right? The candles become wider. The volume becomes higher. It is a frothy, beautiful session. Now, That was yesterday. Okay, so shorts worked out beautifully. You could have shorted the highs, which was a little bit tough to do. It was tough to do. I think if you look into where we shorted yesterday, I think we had, what did we do yesterday? It was Mike shorted the exact tippy top high here, right? I shorted the breakdown under the lows over here, and Rav was shorting, I think Rav was shorting the same moment I was shorting, we were both shorting the whole downside move. And then basically every tick higher, short more, until all the way back down to demand lows. This was your definition of a beautiful trend day to the downside. Now, the question is, the same trap buyers who were here yesterday, where are they today, right? Where are they today? Well, if you go to the 15-minute time frame here on the SPY chart, well, the supply is still the same thing. And it's almost like Groundhog Day, right? This is Groundhog Day. We're back at the same session. I just don't know exactly what's going to happen here, right? If we are going to break, if we maintain above 570, if we break these highs here at 570, I think we're all bets off for shorts. This is the level where all bets off for shorts. If we clear 570 and you see Brett taking a short today, tell me not to, right? Just do yourself a favor, do me a favor, say, Brett, what the hell are you doing? Don't short above 570 in SPY, because if we do clear 570, we're doing this today. Right? We're going to go to 673. That's just a very, very clear level here. You can see every single time we've cleared 570, we've seen every time 670, right? If I say 570, I mean 670. 670, every time we see 670 break, we see 673. So look at this for a second. You're going to see once we clear these highs, it's these highs, these highs, it's these highs, these highs, it's these lows, these highs, it's these lows. So between 570, 670, and 673, there is nothing there to stop us, right? So if we are going to fail today's session again, you kind of want to see the same thing happen today's session. You want to see this little bit of a pop and fade, right? And a downside move like this, in which case you can short the highs for a short, right? Or you can short the failure back under 668 for a short, or you can short under 665 for a short and a downside move, right? So again, you have opportunity number one as resistance, opportunity number two as a fail below 668, and opportunity number three as a fail below 665. All of these scenarios are short based because, again, the hourly structure is bearish right now. This is a bear hourly structure. This is a bearish flag back into our resistance levels. If we can break above this level, then we are no longer wow, I started losing my voice there. If we are back above 670, then we are no longer bearish sentiment. We've shifted back to a bull side sentiment. Okay. So 670 is your pivot. As simple as that. That's just the most way that you want me to give you the best answer here. It's 670. The most clear, best answer is, are we bullish? Are we above 670? Yes. Are we bearish? Are we below 670? Yes. Right. That's your statement. Okay. And on the ES chart, you saw it, right? So I'll show you this. Go to the 5-minute time frame. Where did the three of us short yesterday on live? We shorted on live this pop higher, right? But then not only that, it wasn't just this pop higher that was the good short, but it was this short over here that I think was the best one, right? It was a failure back under 67.48, which is your downside move. Now today's session, why am I talking about yesterday's session? Because yesterday's session is important in the eyes of today's session, right? If you look at yesterday's session, hey, we're almost doing the same thing, right? Look at where we were pre-market yesterday, right there. Look at where we are pre-market today, right here. Okay. Now, what's going to happen today? Well, it's very simple. It's either we push higher, we fail back below, and we can look for shorts on either this move higher over there or the failure back below 67.48 for the downside move back into lows. It's either going to be this happens again, we short the same thing, doing the same thing again from yesterday's session, or we break and hold above this white band right here. If we clear above yesterday's highs, these highs over here, all bets are off. We're no longer short anymore. The market's going higher. And we must be aware of that, right? Your hourly bear case idea is invalid if we clear above 67.62. Now, what if you see this happen, a pop and then a fade back below? Then you have another trap buyer scenario, in which case you could short it. But again, your thesis is yesterday's highs, right? That's the thing to understand about today's session is everything is defined by whether or not we are above yesterday's highs. That's the way to put it. Okay. So again, trading the same thing again in yesterday's session. Nothing's the same. Nothing's different. Everything's the same from our previous day session into today. Okay. And where are we going to? Well, back into 6700 ES as your big demand, and back into 6660, which is our next big demand below. Okay, demand 1, and then also obviously here on SPY. Where's our demand here on SPY? It's 660, right? And if you are looking for the best possible short today, the highest conviction short today, I'll give you this. This is your short everything move. If you break below this 665 level again today, this is your short everything move, because I think we can see a beautiful trend day down in the market. This would be a crazy trade that I would trade myself, right? So under 665 for shorts would be a great trade. And where's that on ES chart? On ES, that is simply just under 67. If we fail below 67, we're going to see an aggressive failure in the market. Okay, that's all it is today here on the ES SPY chart. On QQQ, you can see it, right? This is your thesis here, right? This is your bear case idea here, is you have a high here, a lower high here, and then this must be your lower high or an equal high, right? So you have your low here, you have your this is your high here, right? You have your lower high, your LH, right? Okay, and then over here you have your equal high, right? Which must maintain under this level. So in order for us to be bearish today here in Qs, we have to remain under this QQQ 606. If we are under 606, then we are a bearish side play, and we're looking for the move back down to 602.50, and we're looking for a move back into 598. Wow, look at Gunny Trades over there. Holy Moses. We're bumping the giveaway, boys. That's it. So what are we doing now? We were giving away $750. So now we're giving away $1,050 on our giveaway for October 31st. Gunny Trades, big shout out to Gunny Trades. He's a gentleman. That is awesome. Much appreciated. Gunny Trades also did half the giveaway with me for last month. So big shout out to Gunny Trades. Also, check him out on Instagram. He's an incredible futures trader, much better than I am. So check him out on IG if you're looking to learn from futures. He's a very good futures trader. Much appreciated, Gunny Trades. So we're gonna have a nice giveaway on Halloween. Very exciting. I'm excited for this. Beautiful, awesome, super cool. What a good move. Much appreciated, Gunny. All right, so 606 as your big level. That's your resistance. Your demand below us, 602.50, and your demand below us, 598. Those are your three levels for today's session. Now, again, your bear case idea on Qs is good if we're under 606. We are right at 606 this morning, so let's see what happens here. But the one thing you're going to notice here about our tech side this morning is QQQ is a bit stronger than SPY, right? Look at where we are here on the Qs chart. Notice that we are sitting almost precisely at the Wednesday's highs here in the pre-market session. Whereas if you compare this to the SPY chart, SPY is underneath, right? We're well within our level here, right? So this is well under our level here. We're well under, right? Obviously a little bit down here under our SPY low, but on Qs we are right at it. Right? And the reason why we are right at the QQQ level is because you have one particular sector showing strength this morning. We're going to talk about that in a second, but you guys already know what it is. It's your semi sector showing strength. So again, QQQ 606 big level today. If you fail it, back in a 602. If we're above it, back bullish in a 608, right? So it's a pretty simple game plan this morning, right? Your demand below us is 602.50. Don't be short back at a 602.50. That's your critical demand zone this morning, right? So let's move on. Let's go over some more names today. Let's start off with the first ticker of today's session. Let's go over TSM, right? Let's go over TSM because TSM is what is kind of accelerating the market this morning. And you'd be surprised to say that how could TSM be accelerating the market? Well, it's because TSM is pumping these semis, right? And this morning we had a reaction to our earnings. Okay, so we had a big beat on the earnings side, and TSM is above this 308 level. 308 is your key pivot here in TSM. Even if you don't trade TSM, I have no intention of trading TSM today, right? But I think it's important that you know the levels here in TSM because this is going to help guide what the market does. This is your strongest name at today's session this morning, right? And I wouldn't even argue it's not that strong, but it is stronger than the overall market, okay? And it is responding to earnings, and it is the reason why semis are moving up higher in the pre-market. So TSM moving higher, okay? Now the level to watch out for this morning is going to be 308. If we are above 308, this is your pullback long spot. So if you're looking for a bounce today on TSM, 308 is your pullback long. Maybe I will trade TSM today, right? But 308 is your guiding level here, right? It's 308 to 306. You have a bit big of a demand zone here, okay? But that's what I'm watching for today, is if we can pull back this demand zone and look for reversion trades off this level. As long as you're above the PDH, which is 306, we're bullish. So this is your bull case. Your bull case idea here is 306. If we're above 306, we're bullish. So you can look for longs back at demand. That's all I have today here on TSM. Or you can look for the 312 break and hold. So above 312 for upside, or the bullish pullback to our demand zone, 306, the PDH, for an upside move. Keep this on the back burner today's session. This is a top watch for longs. But the reason why this is also a top watch for longs is because it is moving your overall chip sector, okay? And to show you this, we're going to go to SMH for a second, okay? So the SMH is obviously moving higher, and the SMH is gapping up into a big level here this morning. You know what I'm going to say here, right? TSM, or really SMH, I mean, look at the SMH. Just look how incredible this chart was yesterday. Look at where we bounced off of yesterday's session. We gap filled yesterday, so we saw a big gap up in the market. Then we filled the whole gap back down lower into 335 on Wednesday's session. We bounced off the gap fill level 335, and we are now ripping off the gap fill level following TSM earnings. Now, where are we at this morning? We are at big supply. So obviously, don't be long in this 346 supply zone. You can see that is the all-time high supply here. But if you do see us clear above the all-time high, that's your long side trade. So what I'm looking for today's session is this. I'm going to say this right now, right? Don't be long into the gap fill, right, level. Look for either a pullback to our demand zone, which would be, at this point, PDH. So I would look for a pullback to 342.80. If you could pull back to 342.80, I'm looking for longs there for an upside move. Or look for the break and hold above 348 for an upside move. But as of right now, you can see this, right? The gaps tend to fill here on SMH, right? The gaps tend to fill. You can see you have a big gap up. We tend to fill a little bit of it, right? We see a big gap. Oh, actually, this was not a gap down, but again, most cases that SMH does gap up or gap down, it tends to fill those gap ups, right? It tends to fill those low volume areas. So right now on semis, you can see here on the SMH, it is gapping up in the pre-market session, right? So I would look for, and I'm not saying this is bearish. This is not a bearish move here at all, right? Let's not change my words here. I'm not saying we should short the semis today, but I am saying if you are looking for longs, you should look for longs back down here, right? That's your long side trade, or it's above these highs for a continuation trade higher, okay? But again here, semi is gapping up, and our idea here should be wait for pullbacks into our demand zone, okay? So let's move on. Let's go over a few more tickers. Let's go over, next ticker we're gonna do is, let's do AMD. So AMD was the top watch yesterday, and I'm sure many of you guys probably traded this, but the biggest thing yesterday was going to be above that 236 area, right? So if today's session, if we can pull back to that 236 today, or sorry, 228 level today, I'm watching that for a major pullback long. So for this is my top watch today, okay? So it's gonna be basically, if we can pull back to these set of highs over here. Now, yesterday's session was all about that breakout, right? So if you go to the 15-minute time frame, you're gonna see here, it was what, right? It was this breakout right here, which resulted in upside. Now we're already back at the bull flag highs here, right? So you can see 243 is your level of resistance, 243, 243. If you're looking for anything today's session, look for a pullback to our demand zone for an upside trade, right? I don't really have any plan of trading this any other way, right? Yesterday was all about this breakout trade, 225, 227. Today's session, it's the same thing. Look for a pullback to the previous set of highs here, which should be 227 for the upside move. Look for that today. That's the only thing I'm looking for. If we can clear above the highs here, this is your second trade, but for me, this is not my A+ trade. My A+ trade is going to be a pullback to our demand zone for a long entry, okay? So keeping that on the top watch for longs today here at AMD, okay? Moving on, Nvidia. So Nvidia trade 184 is your level of resistance today. Obviously, yesterday's session, this was the 184 short, right? Yesterday's session was all about 184 short. Today is going to be all about 184 as your base, right? So you can see day in and day out, it's all been about the 184 levels. You can see first, you can see breakdown, rejection, failure. On Wednesday's session, it was what? A breakdown, rejection, failure. Today's session, it's going to be what? It's either going to be, again, another rejection here at 184 for a downside move, or it's going to be we reclaim this level and we see upside back into 190. So these are your two plays here on Nvidia. But again, it's all guided by what level? By 184. So if we're above 184, we're bullish. If we're below 184, we're bearish. that is your level going into our session today. Everything is guided by that one level here on Nvidia, right? So it's interesting to see though that Nvidia is relatively weak against the market, because if you compare this to semis gapping up, Nvidia is not gapping up. I mean, it is a little bit, right? Small gap up, but it's not above its Wednesday size, right? So look at semis. Semis obviously well above its Wednesday size. But this morning here on Nvidia, we are well under our Wednesday size. So it's interesting to see that, right? So obviously we are a little bit weaker here on Nvidia. Let's see what happens today. But again, it's all going to be guided by 184, above it bullish, below it bearish. Amazon. Amazon doing nothing. I kind of spoke about this yesterday. I don't think we should be involved in Amazon right now. Amazon has been a bit of a lagger. It hasn't been doing much. And I think we should continue staying away from this as long as we are under 218. If we can clear 218, then maybe there's upside potential. But as of right now, stay away from this chart as long as we are under 218. 218 is your bull bear thesis. Below it, bearish. Above it, bullish. Now, does that mean I'm trading shorts on Amazon today? I mean, probably not, though. Still, I'm not involved here. The reason why is because if you notice something, like this is your level, right? You can see in front of us, this is your 218 level. You can see 218, 218, 218. You have a bottom demand zone here, 216.50, 216.50. You can see there is obviously reaction here, right? And you can see that in most people's eyes, like this would be just a bear flag, right? Back into a demand zone, which would be now our resistance, right? So this is our resistance now. So this would be a downside facing chart here as of right now, right? That's most people would probably say that. But the issue with this is I can't really say that fully with confidence, because look at what's going on here on the daily 200 SMA, right? So just add your daily 200 SMA here, and you're going to see that this is your major level, right? Your major level this morning is 214, right? So if we are above 214, we are holding bullish. So be careful shorting back into daily 200 SMA. So this is your range. I don't plan to get involved in this range. If we can get back above this level, upside. But as of right now, I'm staying away from Amazon, because again, even though it is bear-sided, right, we're just sitting right back into that daily 200 SMA. So staying away from this as long as you're in this tight range here, okay? Let's move on. Let's go over a few more tickers. Let's go over Palantir. PLTR 172. I mean, obviously, right, this just keeps, it's just staying in this range for a while, right? At some point, this is going to break range. 172 demand, 188 as resistance. Those are the two things I'm seeing this morning. AZ stocks, much appreciated, AZ stocks. That is very kind of you. Much appreciated. We'll add that $2 to the giveaway. Much appreciated. Actually, you know what? Maybe I'll keep that for myself. Maybe I'll pocket that one. I'm just joking. All right. So maybe I'm not joking. PLTR 172, 188, big levels. Apple, on your Apple chart, 250 is your key pivot, right? So I mean, I think Rav was trading this yesterday, but 250 is your inflection point. If we're above 250 bullish, if we're below 250 bearish, that's your gauge today. That's all it is, right? Nothing to say here, really. This has been a chart that's been a bit slow recently. Now, I did say this was bullish on like Monday session. I talked about it being bullish on Monday after it bounced off support on Friday. So basically, it was, if you recall, right, we shorted this chart on Friday session. On Friday session, we were short this. I think we were short Friday. I can't remember if we were short Thursday or if we were short Friday. But we were short one of these days, right? We were short either this day or this day on live. And we got some downside, right? I think it was maybe Friday session. I think we were short Friday session in next week contracts. And we got the downside move. And then on Friday, we realized, wow, this is no longer bearish anymore, right? It's at support. It's holding key support, right? 240 was your key support zone. And as long as we're holding 240, we're actually bullish again. So we were bearish over here and we're bullish over there. And then in the middle, what the hell are we, right? So if you're a bear over here and a bull over there, in the middle, what are you? You're nothing, right? You're just simply kind of waiting to see what happens. I would argue we're probably more on the bull side than we are on the bear side, because we are bouncing off a big support, right? So we're probably more bullish than bearish, but we're just in the midpoint, right? We're just simply in the midpoint between two big levels, right? Level 1 and level 2. So let's see what happens here in Apple. But again, it's kind of like Amazon, right? It's not doing anything of interest right now. I think we should wait for us to get to our big levels, and that would be our guiding move today's session, right? Let's discuss a few more names today. Let's go over a few more. Let's go over, what am I missing? I feel like I'm missing a few more. Let me read the chat. Somebody was yelling at me. Did you guys see that? Someone was yelling at me in the chat. Someone is in here at 8 o'clock at 9 o'clock in the morning yelling at me in the YouTube after. I understand you want to yell at me after I had a bad day. You could say I'm shit, right? You could probably yell at me after Tuesday's session, but you can't yell at me after Wednesday's session. Wednesday's session was a great session, right? Incredible the negativity that people have. I think that's just an insane thing. You know, get me when I'm down, right? Don't get me when I'm up. You can't. It's not really going to do anything. You know, what are you going to do? Let's move on. Tesla, yes, Tesla. Teslita is very much so like Apple, like Amazon, and Tesla is the same thing, right? Tesla, look, I'm not gonna, like I said, it's like over and over again, right? I'm not a magician. I'm not gonna pull shit out of a hat. Tesla is just stuck in between range here. Now, granted, this is your level. Your level is simply just 445 and 416. If it is just simply consolidated, your range high, your range low, right? Range high, range low. We probably stay in this range until we break the range, and then we see upside or downside. But as of right now, we are just stuck in that larger time frame channel, and there's not much to say here, right? You can see here. Look at the 1 hour. Look at the 1 hour chart here. If you don't believe me, look at the 1 hour chart and look what's going on, right? Yes, I could see it. It's consolidating. Yes, maybe it does break out eventually. If it can clear 445, sure, right? This could be a trade here. But as of right now, this is your level of resistance, right? So, AVGO. But guys, trust me when I tell you this. It doesn't matter who you are as a trader. Right now, we have 1,200 people here in the pre-market. There's guaranteed going to be a few people who have bad intentions, right? That's just the way it is. As long as I'm liked by 95% of you, I'm cool. 5% of you, it's fine, right? But 95%, the reason why you're here is because you're here for the levels, right? That's what it is. The negativity, you may think it's a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing. Some of the biggest traders in the space have the most negativity. Notice that, right? I need more negativity. I need to start saying dumb stuff because it's going to help me get more negativity, which will then make these YouTubes grow even bigger. So don't worry about it. Let them go crazy. It's fine. It's actually a good thing. I'm not even going to block them. I'll let them come back. Let them come back and give me more engagement. Right. And go against me. Do it. It's fun. AVGO. AVGO. Just shit. This is actually a nice chart, right? Remember. Okay, call me an idiot, right? Call me fucking idiot. But what did we say yesterday on AVGO? What the hell did we say yesterday on AVGO? I said, guys, this precisely. Go back to yesterday's session here in AVGO. What did we say yesterday, right? I'm not going to toot my own horn here, but toot, motherfucker. Look at AVGO, right? Look at AVGO, literally 350, right? 350 break and reclaim upside move, right? I didn't even trade this yesterday. I was just shorting SPY yesterday, so I didn't even touch this. I have nothing to say here, but this is exactly what we said was going to happen yesterday in AVGO, right? AVGO was a bounce trade at 350 for an upside move, right? Break and reclaim upside trade, back in the highs. I did also say 358 reclaim for move higher, but again, this was your main trade. Your main trade yesterday should have been this right here. And I remember someone in the chat, I think Stacks took his trade. If Stacks in the live, he's here to say it, but he took this exact trade yesterday. This was your 350 pullback long, right? Today's session, what are you going to do on AVGO now? On AVGO now, it's no longer about 350, okay? 350 doesn't matter anymore. The only trade you could take now is going to be above 358, okay? If it can clear 358, you have an upside move back into 372. That's what it is. So for today's session, if you want anything here in AVGO, it's got to be a build above these highs for a continuation trade back into these highs. No longer 350 bounces anymore. It's no longer there anymore. I wouldn't trade it. Personally, I wouldn't trade it. If it works, but it's not for me anymore. The only trade I would take is a build above these highs over there, right? Guys, that's it for me. I'm cursing on YouTube, so I'm gonna lose all my engagement. I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Have a happy and safe trading session. Thank you all for joining in. Thank you to Gunny Trades. Thank you to Gunny Trades, and there was one more. And AZ Stocks, you guys are much appreciated. Thank you for contributing, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Bye, guys.